Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
Hello, hello, hello. I have a question for you. Have you ever felt completely lost? You know, seeking purposeful direction that could and should propel your mission within your divine journey to that next level, but still it hasn't happened. Well, my name is Lauren Michaels Harris, and I'm the founder of P3, the Journey Series. People come to me because they're wounded. Many are scared, and even there are those who are bruised simply because they feel that they are increasingly, for whatever reason, losing their ability to dream. Now, this P3 program is not for a person who's just looking to start a business, no, but rather for those of you out there who have been on your journey and you've been navigating within your divine purpose, but you still desire to elevate to that level that you have not reached yet. If this is appealing, if this describes you, then I want to have a chat with you. I want to hear your story. So use the link below to get registered for your free seat at P3, the Journey Series. And let's get started, one story at a time. I'll see you inside. Click the link. Good morning. How many can I do? Good morning. Don't try me. Good morning. Okay. Good morning. How you doing? Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren, and it is a great day. Woo, Wednesday.
You think I'm doing this because it's hump day? Nope. I'm doing it because it's Survivor night. I'm so excited. So listen, how you doing, huh? Welcome back. Welcome back. And let me just tell you, I'm going to cut it short today because a little late getting started today. It was one of those mornings. I got up 10 minutes before my alarm went off, which was 3:50 a.m. So I'm all excited. I'm ahead of schedule. And then I go out to get in the car to go to the health club. Where's my wallet? I didn't go anywhere yesterday. Anyway, I would look everywhere, all in the dirt around plants, outside with lights and flashlights, all in the hamper, the freezer, anything. I'm just telling you, everywhere. And then I heard the voice of reason say to me, "Look, because I play that Maya Angelou thing all the time. Just do right." And the first words out of her mouth in there is, "If you're going to teach, you must live your teachings," right? There's the bell of purpose. So anyway, I'm listening and I heard a whisper that said to me, "Hey, Lauren, just be patient. Just be patient." So I was like, okay, how can I be patient when I'm panicking? So, okay, I'm going to make it about something other than the situation. So I sat down and I started working on a show opener for a 90-minute television special. Ooh, I have to show you guys that later in the show before we get out of here. A 90-minute special on Beyond Victimhood. Saturday. So I sat down and I finished that. Anyway, long story short, 2.5 hours later, after it all began, my husband said, "Well, did you look on the floor in the garage?" I said, "Yeah, I looked on the floor in the garage 3 times in the dark, right? And right where I got out of the car, I looked. Nowhere else on the floor." So I go back out there just to appease him. And guess where I found it? On the floor. I was like, so anyway, I'm so grateful. But my message today, and it's never about just one thing or one person. So this is for someone out there, perhaps you, no matter what you face today, breathe. I did breath work. I really did. I sat here and I started doing I was breathing and counting. And it worked. So don't let something get in your way today. Breathe your way through it and be patient. There we go. Can I get an amen? All right. So listen, Nikki with an I. See, I know she has to tell people that all the time. Nikki with an I is in here. And another thing, her name is Nikki Green. So my ADHD ass sat up in here and I go, oh, look, she's got 2 N's, 2 E's, 2 I's, and 2 K's. Everything but 2 G's and 2 R's. I think that's cool. And she is too. So why is she so cool beyond having all those double letters in her name? Well, she's a life and a business resiliency expert. Say it with me. Resiliency. I like that word. Resiliency expert. And she's been doing it. She's been in the international business industry for over 2 decades. And she's a 5-time published author. So she loves to travel. She's already visited over 16 countries, and she's completing what? You've completed 7 marathons? Okay. All right. Okay. All right, Miss Nikki. Overachievement. There, I can't even go. I'm going to let her tell you because I'm starting to feel a little bit lackluster. I'm kidding. Okay, wait. I haven't even watched a marathon. I need to change some things. Listen, you guys, our record we want to beat today, as far as live viewers at one time, is 1,718. 1,718. Yeah, that's right. 1718. Yeah. So 397 of you are here. If you each share it out and they share it out, we'll get there. So right now, share the broadcast out because I hear her coming down the hallway as we speak. Miss Nikki Green is in the house and she's never been here. So put some hearts on the screen. It's our way of saying welcome virtually. Here she comes, Nikki Green. Well, good. Oh, I know those aren't Christmas trees. Are they? Uh-oh. She froze on us. Miss Nikki. Am I moving? I wonder if it's here.
I'm moving. I'm shaking.
You know what? Hold on. I want to make sure something.
I am ready to. Technology is not our friend today.
It's what I'm gonna tell you, just like the wallet thing. Whenever things start getting in the way like that, what's so good that you're trying so hard to mess with it? That's how I look at it. So we're just gonna keep going and make our way through. I hope. I'm looking. Okay, am I freezing?
All
Hello.
those years in tech.
Okay, I'm moving. I'm looking at myself on another screen. This is so odd. Okay, because now I'm like, is it me? Oh, Lord. Okay, well, let me see. Hi, David. How are you, David Ray? And Delwar, you're back. Nice to see you, man. Mr. Husam, we missed you the other day. You don't think we noticed, but we do. Good to see you. I hope all is well. So, Nikki, listen, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna put you on the screen. I always like the guest to have the first minute to kind of just pour into the audience. What's on your spirit today and what brought you here and what you're doing every day that eases some form of suffering in the world. All you, take it away. I'll be back in 60 seconds.
Hi, everyone. I know it's been a rocky couple of months, I think, for some of us, especially here in the US. So I'm just trying to bring some holiday cheer today. You can see we've got the trees up. They are not decorated for Christmas. They just happen to be snowy. But for those of you who don't know me, I am a life and business resiliency expert. Spent the last 20 years working in Silicon Valley, helping those companies make millions of dollars. And now I try to help small businesses make just a fraction to try to bring some joy and fun into their lives. It's great to be here. It was so nice meeting you at Martha's event, and can't wait to share more with the audience and see if we can end this year on a high note. There's so much going on these days.
No, you got that right. So you're in the Chicagoland area?
I sure am. We're practically neighbors.
Where do you live?
I'm over in Plainfield.
Oh, that's where my friend Pia Renee lives. Yes, I think I probably told you that when we met, didn't we? Did I?
Yeah.
I know it's my only friend over there, so I always say, "Oh, yeah."
Well, now you got another one.
That's what I will do. Thank you. I'll take that. So listen, let's get to it. So, let's just put it this way. Give us your definition, because I have a feeling it's two different pathways: the life resiliency and the business resiliency. It's not like when I see it in my ADHD brain, I don't see two separate cones. I see a swirl. So tell us, how different are those two lanes, or are they different at all?
Yeah, you're seeing the swirl, like the chameleon tail, which is my methodology and mindset that I use. So it definitely is working there.
Okay, there we go. Boom.
Yeah. So, a lot of people, they talked about adaptability, and it's like, oh, I'm adaptable. I can totally, model when things happen. But a lot of times when they say that, it's like, oh, well, they did it for one time, twice maybe. But what I really work with resiliency is, how can you do that 100 times, 1,000 times? How can you keep going when life, your business, the roller coaster, the challenges just keep coming at you? Because that's life. And most of us really can't do that. We kind of give up after 2 or 3 tries and we're like, close enough, right? Time to go to the next thing.
So when you were in Silicon Valley, that wasn't your job, was it? This resiliency piece?
It didn't seem like it. That wasn't my title, but that is definitely the work I ended up doing. Is how do you keep going? Because there is a nonstop pace there, 24/7. I had teams across 10 time zones, and it was physically, difficult to try to run those jobs and run those teams. And I had to do the same thing for my teams. How do I keep my teams going and motivated when the leadership keeps changing their ideas and moving stuff around? So,
well, you heard me say in the monologue what Maya Angelou says in that Just You Right video, first words out of her mouth: if you're going to teach, you must live your teachings. So let's go to you. You just laid it out there about how thinly spread you were, because you're one person, 10 time zones. That's all I needed to hear, right? A lot of us can't manage 4 time zones here in the States, let alone 6 additional around the globe. So was it as a result? I mean, were you your own guinea pig? You know what I'm saying?
I definitely was. My whole life was filled with change. I grew up with three sets of parents across three states. I constantly moved. I moved pretty much every 2 years of my life. I went to nine different schools by the time I went to high school,
You sound like
and
me.
so
And I was in foster
yeah.
care. Were you a military brat?
My mom was a child of a military person. My grandfather was in the Navy for 20 years, and I think she just kind of got used to always, getting relocated and moving to new places.
Wait, so you guys weren't being deployed or moved? You mean this was just a choice of your mom? Let's go.
Yeah, it's just, hey, time for a new place, hopefully moving on up a little bit as we went. So.
Wow. So what was that like? Let's go there for a minute. What was that like, and how does it affect you today as far as permanence and believing things? Because I know it took me a long time, years inside my marriage, even I didn't realize how temporary my mindset was. Stuff I wouldn't put away. I'd always, I don't, how some people keep something in a suitcase or they don't fully unpack those kinds of things. Talk about that if you could. How did that affect you?
Yeah. I mean, especially moving school so often, I was always the new kid. And so you're always trying to make new friends. But it also gave me a boldness that like each time I could kind of reinvent myself, which was kind of my early chameleon stage.
Hmm.
There was no harm, no foul because there wasn't like I'm going to see these people for the next 12 years. It was like I'm going to see you for the next 12 minutes maybe, and then we're going to move on. And so it really gave me a confidence that maybe I probably wouldn't have had. I was always
Mhm.
very small. I was always the smallest person in the class. I was always super nerdy. But when I got to be an adult, I started treating my same relationships that way. Like everything was really temporary, like you said, of, well, I'm probably not going to see them. So I didn't make that effort to, spend time with people and go to weddings and baby showers and all the things, that people usually do to kind of keep that bond going after,
Mm.
college and things. So
Mm. So you have a family.
I do. Yeah, here in Chicago, I live with my boyfriend, who's also a military veteran, 20 years in the Navy.
Yay! Happy Veterans Day, belated. I would
Yeah,
say also,
yeah.
were you?
I was not in the military.
Okay.
I just moved a lot.
Okay. So you're in the Chicagoland area, and what was the question I was going to ask you? I have a bunch of them, but what was I going to ask next? Oh, ADHD times 62 years old times still coming down off the trauma of did I lose my wallet? Because in your mind you go, I got to go get a new license. Also, I checked all the credit cards that I could remember, and then you realize how unorganized you are. So anyway, I'm coming back to normal. I'm trying. So let me ask
It's
you something.
okay.
Let me ask you something. So when people come to you, have they identified that they have an issue with resilience? And I'll move on to some of the other things you do, but this resilience piece, you don't hear. You hear grit. You hear, all a lot of things that allude to it. But for some reason, a lot of people they don't lead with the word resilience. I think of a rubber band being able to snap back and that sort of thing. So, what is it you do? How do people know this is a quality they need to do better with?
Yeah. Well, this is the kind of the difference, like you said, between the life training and the business training. When I coached people, I used to run a business where I coached people in triathlons, endurance events. When you talk about stuff like that, you're like, oh, you're going to have to be mentally tough and physically, able. And so that resiliency is very obvious, and you're able to use those tough words. When you're talking to people about their general life, they're not like, man, I want to be tougher at life. Like that's not an aspiration. So using the word resiliency gives people more of a vision of like, I can just do more of what I dream of. I can go after things that I've always thought of and maybe was afraid to say. And so I really like using that word because it gives it a little bit of a softer connotation it's more approachable for most people, right? Not those kind of crazy people that do marathons and stuff.
Now, let me throw this in there because I'm feeling you because I'm listening because I need some of this myself, of course. I remember bringing a guest on that doesn't have something I can use myself, you see, because I'm trying to grow too. So when I hear you talk about this, it's challenging because I'm like, okay, she's telling me to be bold, but why? What is the thing that keeps me from automatically believing I am? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, and it's the stuff we've already talked about. There's so many things from our life experiences that lead us into these fears that we don't even know we have sometimes. We don't even really know why they're rooted in that. And so how do we uncover those things in a way that's not like therapy? Therapy kind of keeps you stuck in the path, and we want to move you forward. How do we approach those things that are under the surface that you know you want to do something, but why haven't you? Why didn't you take that step? And for sometimes it takes a while to peel that onion to get onto that level. But until we figure that out, you're probably not going to be able to even take step one, let alone 10 and 1,000.
Yes, I believe you. I believe you. But okay, here's one. Get ready. Get ready. I'm getting ready to throw one in. It's coming in fast and hot, Miss Nikki. Um, Full potential. Let's talk about that. How do because when I think of potential, it seems to me in my own journey, every time I reach a milestone or, I celebrate something that was an intention once upon a time, and now I've crossed that line and it's here, it's a reality. Now it opens up a whole well, I wonder if I could do this. I keep reaching. So is it ever full? Do we ever reach our full potential, or do we just keep reaching beyond the current?
Absolutely. There's always another level. And I do think this is one of the great things I learned in Silicon Valley is even when they made the most amazing technologies, things that transformed lives, that there was
Yeah.
always the next thing they wanted to do. And it was never like, oh, it's not enough. It was more like, I'm interested myself to learn and grow. And I hope it can also benefit others. And I think that's more of the nature of the creator economy that we're in now is that more of us want to share all these talents and experiences that we're having so that they can have an experience like that of their own.
Okay. So what's the average amount of time it takes when someone is, I know every situation is unique, but on an average, how long does it take for people that work with you to start experiencing some form of change or growth?
Yeah, the beauty of the way I work with people is not only do we have this kind of big long-term goal, but there are immediate steps that usually within 1 week you will see some movement. Because that first step sometimes is the hardest,
Mm.
that we really break down every goal into really manageable small parts week by week. So you should always be making progress and always feel good and have confidence for the next step. And I love that because too many people have these big long-term goals and they just never really get to them because they're just too big, it's too far away.
Mm. So a person like you, because a lot of us that do the work, and it's not just this kind of work, hairdressers, usually the people who never do anything with their own hair, people that teach and heal and stuff and neglect themselves. So you know what I'm saying? Any suggestions there on how to make sure, like, because when you hold space, you 10 time zones, you're holding space, trying to juggle it all, this and the other. It can really deplete it. So do you have, what are some of the rituals that you help people put in place so that they can keep track of the levels of what's in their tank or not? Like the
Yeah.
fluid levels, the lights come on in our car, windshield wiper fluid low, antifreeze low. So those same types of things inside of us. Any tips there?
Yeah, this is the biggest thing is a lot of people plan the big stuff first. Like, okay, here's all the effort that I'm going to put in. That's cool. That stuff needs to happen. But when I work with people, we actually reverse the formula. We plan the fun first. We plan the breaks first. What are those important things that you want to do? And make sure that those are your priority, that your life comes first, your health comes first. And it's just so, so important because then you can kind of say, oh man, I'm going to have this big moment. I should also have a break around that big moment to celebrate, to recover, right, to rest, rejuvenate. So you can add even more balance in there. But people too often just plan the hard first and then they forget about the fun. And for me, that doesn't work.
Right, right. Can I just ask? It's a little off topic and personal, but I'm just curious. What's your belief system as far as woo woo, source, God? Do you believe in something greater than yourself?
Absolutely. And this is again a part of my eclectic upbringing is, I went from, one part of the family was Jehovah Witness, so very strict, beliefs and,
I have a brother
lots of
who's Jehovah's
rituals.
Witness. Yep.
Exactly. I went to a Baptist school when I first started going, to elementary school. So then there was kind of that element of it. And then, my other side of the family was a little bit more into yoga and meditation and being one with nature and land. And so I had these great perspectives of that. My spirituality didn't have to be one thing. It had to be the thing that resonated and inspired me each day to get up and be the best I could be.
I know
So
that's right. Perfectly said. Yes. I can tell you mean it. I'm just testing you. I'm kidding. But let's go back to the health piece, because when I was speaking earlier in the year, yeah, it's 24. Earlier in the year at University of Savannah, right? And they had a thing called the poverty simulation. We're actually bringing it to next season's Power of We Symposium with the kids. But in there, you have all these different stations, right? And these are all educators and superintendents of school districts and, speakers. And we were all there. They let us all go in and do it. And, there was you had to live like you were keeping your family off the street with some of the kids that were in there, right? But what we found really interesting, because these are all adults. These are all conference goers in there. One of the stops in there, and there were like 17 different booths that you had to, was urgent care or the doctor's office. And you were told what you had to do. It was all inside your package. So let's say that I think there was 95 people in that room, they said. And out of 95 people, only one went to the doctor like they were told to in that packet. Everybody skipped that one. And I thought, because I skipped it. And I was like, what is that? So why did you say health? A lot of people talk about the mindset and, of course we know about stress levels and whatnot, but why'd you put it in that primary spot?
Yeah. For me, it's always been something that came together. From the very days I could walk, my mother was a collegiate gymnast. I was tumbling in the gym. All of my family played sports, and it just was a natural part of everything that we did. So I didn't really think about how difficult it was for other people to maintain their health. Then, as I started to get older and started trying to go to the doctor, I realized how ridiculously expensive it is, even when you have good insurance. And it's something I'm really passionate about, is really advocating for better insurance in this country so that it's accessible to everyone.
Wow.
Yeah. It's because if we don't do those preventative steps, we're so afraid just to go to the basic doctor, just for a regular checkup, blood work, the norm. And we wait until things are acute. And then, we're in a worse situation and it's going to be harder to come back from. And we really need to change our approach so that every day is fitness. It doesn't have to be exercise in the gym and all these hard things, but it's just a matter of taking care of ourselves, knowing our numbers, and making sure they're on track for where we're at with our age.
So there you go. You're so good. No, that last word I was about to, I'm still going to do it. Segue into, now let's talk about this. Does it become more difficult, in your opinion, from what you've seen working with folks, more difficult to get people to do what you're describing as they get older? Or does it get easier as we get older? Because some people are like, okay, I ain't trying to die tomorrow. So, the closer you get to mortality, the more seriously you start taking stuff. You see? So what's your thing with that? As people get older, do you see a difference?
Yeah, there's this term called internal ageism, which is how we're against ourselves, what we believe is old. And if we can't turn the knob on that one and believe that we can still be healthy at older ages, then we won't be. And so you got to turn that internal knob first and go, no, it doesn't matter if I'm 40, 50, 60, 80, 90, 100. It doesn't matter. I can go do the things. All I got to do is, again, take that first step out the door and start taking care of myself.
Now, see, let's go there, because you come from a family of people who, let's talk longevity. That's a hot topic nowadays. There are a lot of documentaries and things because we're living longer and things are coming in that are nudging people towards believing, shoot, I might be able, because I mean, if who wants to be 90 if it means you're going to be in the corner of a nursing home in a wheelchair with a catheter bag going and slobbering, nurse, you know what I'm saying? And I would tell you something, that's a good thing to do. I used to do it when I was in my 30s and 40s, at least once a month, because I could kill two birds with one stone. I'd go and I'd visit somebody in one of those places that I could stand the stench. I'm just keeping it real. Seriously, it's a horrible situation in this country. We need to do better with our elderly, but that's another show. But I would go and visit someone who didn't have any visitors usually, right? But I also looked around at the quality of life that some people had, and I wished I could ask them, what would you do differently? You could not have thought this is what you wanted for yourself. So, and that helped me say, you know what? I'm going to do my best to do my best. So let me ask you about this with longevity. We are living longer than usual, right? But your family has kind of always been that way. So do you see in your client base where people are understanding how this is interconnected for real?
Yeah, there's more and more just information out there, I think, so that people can be aware of simple things like just going for a walk. And if you live in a place like Chicago where you get snowy, you go, you join a gym, you walk at the indoor track, you go to the mall if there's any malls left.
Oh,
But these little bits, can make a difference. That we're not going to do the things we did in our 20s. Sorry, I'm not running around playing beach volleyball in a bikini anymore, but we got to find the things that are going to be accessible at our age, but also the community aspect of it. One transformation I saw when my grandmother did go into the home that she was at is she perked up because she had people to talk to. She had music to listen to. She was going down to eat her meals and not just staying in her room. So there are positive aspects that can happen. And those are the things we have to make sure stay in our life, that we go find a walk buddy, and go troll around the neighborhood, go to the grocery store, whatever it is. Right?
Absolutely. Guys, thank you. We just beat the record. We're at 1,861 people. Thank you all. I knew you could do it. You always do. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Still can share it out. We can do better. I want to talk about this upcoming, or is it here? The journal, the chameleon mindset. Talk about that. Is it here? Is it coming? Will it be here in time for Christmas? And if so, what's in it? Why should we get our hands on it?
Yeah. So based on my best-selling book, I have a lot of exercises in there that you can do by yourself, you can do with your friends, you can do with your family. But what I really wanted to do was make it more accessible so people could do it over and over again as they were going through different challenges. So the Chameleon Mindset Journal is actually going to be out before Christmas. Don't worry, Amazon will make sure we got a Black Friday special on it. And it's something that you can do. You can also give as a gift if you've got someone, kind of going through some sort of transition in their life, leaving university, trying to change their job. This journal is perfect to get you off that autopilot and making that first step towards those big goals. So super excited for the Chameleon Mindset Journal.
So is this something that takes us through a calendar year, Nikki? How, because, let me come back in. I forgot I had you on. Is it something that, because I'm keeping it real, I can look around my area and there's one. Here's one. There's one. I have 3 different journals. Oh, 4. There's one right there. 2 within reach that I use, and I see 2 over there. Journals. People get them and they just lay around. They do it. So you know what I'm saying? Right. Just as crispy as the day they were printed. So any tips on what to do? For instance, when I was in the health and wellness and I'd give people their meal replacement stuff, their shakes and stuff. As soon as they go to put it in the cap, nope. Leave it out here on the counter where you can be accountable, where you can see it. So any tips to when we get the Chameleon Mindset Journal, we use it.
Yeah. Well, there's only 10 exercises. It's not incredibly long, and it's choose your own adventure. So
I was
it's not
with you
like
until you said exercise.
I'm kidding. Mental exercise.
Go ahead.
But you can choose your own adventure. So if you feel like there's a particular area that you need to focus on for yourself, maybe it's emotional intelligence. Maybe you feel like, emotionally you're a little all over the place and you need some structure there. Maybe it's your risk tolerance. Maybe you feel more afraid and that's keeping you back. You can pick the different areas where you want to work and just jump on into that. And then you can go and do the others if you want to. It's not like homework at school. No one's grading you. No one grades your life. The whole point of this is to build what I call your syllabus for life. What is your bigger picture? What are those big milestones you're looking forward to, those goals? What lessons do you need to learn? Who can help you get there? And you build that for a lifelong of learning, not just this journal or this page, just keep it going. And until we start doing that, that's where we're going to get the transformation.
Nice. So you have some other books as well. Can you run through the litany of those and then tell us which one is your favorite and why?
Yeah, of course I've got all my books. Look at this. All right. So my first book is called I Laugh in the Face of Danger. That one is a memoir of my life, talking about moving and some of those struggles of, having different parents and what those lessons taught me, as well as some of my time in Silicon Valley. One of my proudest books is The Great Leadership Awakening. This one is an anthology with a bunch of other inspiring women and what their feminine transformation happened in the workplace, and lots of different backgrounds, lots of different, things that they've recognized over their career that made them step into their true leadership style. And of course, here in Chicago, I belong to a wonderful writing group, and every year we do a fiction anthology. So in case you don't like nonfiction books, The Spaces in Between and Denizens of the Deep are actually fiction books, and it's super fun. Denizens of the Deep is based on monsters under Lake Michigan.
I know a few that live in Michigan, but that's because I grew up there. I won't go into that either. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
So you love writing too.
I love writing, and it's something I've just started since the pandemic, since I've changed jobs, since I've changed careers, being able to really express yourself in lots of different ways, either telling the stories of my past to help people with their future, or whether it's making up stories that are just kind of wandering in my head to just get a little bit of escapism from some of those struggles of day-to-day life.
Well, Nikki, what were your hopes? Was it easy to pivot from the work you were doing? Because, a lot of us, that status and whatnot are, I work in Silicon Valley and and then all of a sudden you find yourself here in the Chicagoland area or wherever you move to from there, I'm assuming. But how different is it for you today? And do you ever miss the treadmill of competition that comes along with corporate America?
Yeah, people probably won't believe me, but I miss the people. I made some really good relationships with people that I still am in touch with today. If I showed up in Singapore tomorrow, I'd have a place to hang out and people to take me out to dinner. It really doesn't matter where I was in the world. I really connected with people. I knew their families. It wasn't just work for me. I really was building a community. So that's the aspect I miss, and the part I continue to try to recreate with the new business. But the transition was hard. I think exactly for that reason. Did I hate my boss? Was I ready to leave? Was I ready to give him all the fingers and go out the door? Absolutely. The pandemic did not help. I also was houseless, spouseless, and going through a number of transitions. So my whole floor fell out from underneath me, and gradually I built myself up. But those years, it was a lot of tears. It was a lot of struggle. It was a lot of me doing my own work before I started helping other people. So know that you come out the other side, but you got to do the work. And there may be some lows, but there's going to be a lot of highs too.
Absolutely. Ooh, ringing the bell on that one. Listen, when we return, I want to talk the rest of the time about New Year's and new starts and also how there are a lot of people who still are underneath a cloud of darkness because of what happened a week ago. A lot of people that still can't get out of bed. My husband, who's a therapist, says he's had more suicidal people talking to him this week than in the last 6 months combined. All that kind of stuff. When we come back, we're going to talk to Nikki Green about maybe a couple suggestions on how to move through things that don't feel so good, right? Resilience is the topic today, and we'll be right back. You're about to see the show opener, the promo for a 90-minute special we're doing here this coming Saturday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. It'll be on all of my platforms, the E360 network, as well as Live Central on our pay-per-view, but it'll be free on E360. Take a look. And if you need or would like more information on how to view this or be a part of this wonderful 90-minute special on From Victimhood, Beyond Victimhood, Stories of Survival and Empowerment. We'll be right back. Don't you dare go away. Wait a minute. There, we're both back there. Welcome back, Nikki. Unmute yourself. I think you got muted while we were out. Tech stuff's trying to get back in, but we won't allow it. You guys, you just saw the promo for Beyond Victimhood, a 90-minute special coming on all of my platforms in the E360 and Trajectory TV networks this coming Saturday, the 16th at 1 p.m. Central. I hope you can join us. Nikki, can you hear me? Nikki, you're muted. Okay, I'm going to go here and see. What am I seeing over there? Okay, I'm still. I should have never gone to commercial. Oh, she went out. She'll have to come back. So listen, while we're waiting on Miss Nikki to come back, what do you guys think so far? Resilience, is it something that comes easy? Hello, Mr. Gomez. Carlos, good to see you, my friend. Lori Whitney says most families just don't care about their elderly for you. Yeah. Well, a lot of families don't. But I'm gonna tell you this. Every time my uncle Walter, rest his soul, when my mom passed away and he had lived with her for decades, he fell to me. And when I didn't feel like picking him up and taking him to his appointments and stuff, all I thought about was, the way you bless or not is the way that you will get blessed or not. So I was like, look, I'm not trying to end up in some nursing home for real. And so I'm just saying, all of us, if you have some elderly people in your family, call on them, check on them, let them know you care. Nikki's back. Hey, there you are. Oh,
hey,
you're going through some. Hi, yep. Thank you, Carlos. Where are you watching from, Carlos Gomez? You look familiar. Are you from California? Put it in there. So where were we before we went through? Oh, I know what I want to ask you. Go ahead. You got something you want to say?
Election. That's where you wanted to go next.
What was it?
The election. You wanted to talk about how to recover.
Yeah. Oh, David. Yes, David. Elderly and disabled, and let's not forget our kids, but disabled for real. Absolutely. We need to do better. So yeah. How's it in your business world since the election? I mean, have you heard a lot of stuff about people?
The same thing. Yeah, and we're really working on, okay, now what? So just like all the obstacles that happen in our life, especially change we don't expect or we don't want, it is what it is. It's now in the past. And so the biggest thing we're trying to work on now is, okay, that's what happened. What do you want? What are the things you can do to go make life better? And so one of the biggest things, especially this time of year, I'm really encouraging my clients to go give back. Give back in a way that maybe you never have before. But there are plenty of people that really need help right now. And instead of letting us kind of wallow in what we might be feeling and worrying about all these other things we cannot control, let's control something we can, which is giving back to our community, helping others, and trying to find a way forward so that we can all be a little bit better off.
Yes, I'm looking up something. Keep talking.
Yeah, good. Well, one of the things that hit me is I didn't feel the same about this as what happened in 2016. In 2016, I was sort of half in California, but I was still registered in Nevada because I was kind of working in between where I was living. And so I was like, oh man, this is never going to happen. So it's fine. I don't need to worry about going all the way back to Nevada or getting a mail-in ballot. I just didn't even think about it. And then that night I was crying and crying, and I was so upset because I felt like, man, I could have done something to make a difference. Versus this time, I was first in line. I was set the alarm, and even if it's not the outcome I wanted, I still did my part, and I'm going to continue to do my part to help the people that I know need help now.
Nice. We could all take a lesson from that one. The literal definition, resilient, it means of a person or an animal able to withstand or recover quickly from difficult conditions. So recover, withstand, what are your top three? What are your top three go-tos, Nikki Green, when you're trying to recover or withstand something? We may have probably touched on them individually, but put them in one big Tupperware for us if you could.
Yeah, not surprising. Go for a run. Definitely get outside. That's how I started.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I can go for a spirited walk. Does that count?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. I'll go for a spirited walk. Okay, go ahead.
And for me, some of these problems that I was dealing with, the amount of stress, I realized I needed something big in order to get me through some of those difficult times. And what started as, just sort of kind of little bit of runs turned into marathons and crazy stuff like that. And I don't, people don't need to do marathons. Those are crazy things unless you really want to do that stuff. But it is better to get out of the house, get off the computer and your phone, go get some fresh air, go for a walk, find some nature, right? And those things can recharge you. Yeah, exactly. For me, that's one of the biggest ones that's got to happen for you to kind of recalibrate the physicalness and the aspect of nature. I think that's a big one.
So here comes one headed at you. Well, you mentioned, did I want to give the finger to that boss in Silicon Valley and say, you know what, kiss my ass on the way out, this, that, and the other? So that leads me to ask you this. How important do you feel for the overall good of what we're talking about here? Bouncing back, recovering, withstanding things that don't serve us or hurt a little bit. How important do you feel the aspect or, mastering the art of forgiveness? So you don't drag what you were running from or leaving or moving away from, you don't drag it behind you like a piece of spiritual toilet paper stuck underneath your shoe. How important do you believe it? Have you had to forgive some things in order to pick up things that are better serving for you?
Yeah, this is actually one of those lessons I learned very young as a child. My oldest uncle was friends with my biological father and was not happy that my mom got pregnant with me. So from the very first day I was born, it was controversy in my family. And that uncle has never talked to me or my mother my entire life. He held so much of a grudge for something literally had nothing to do with me, and I can't take back.
Well, I'm the one that introduced him, even though I wasn't here yet. Yeah. Okay, go on.
So I just always thought, man, he is carrying around so much anger and hate and resentment for what? Like, what does that get him in life? He's missing out. I'm pretty awesome.
The corner chair in the nursing home.
Exactly.
That's what it gets him.
And you're going to be all alone and you're going to miss out on so many good things. And so I just realized that I did not want to be that person, that I held a grudge so long, so angrily, that it festered inside of me like that. And it didn't mean I forgot. It didn't mean that I totally forgot, and forgave things that happened in my life. But sometimes I just said, okay, if this isn't for us, then here's the line and there's the door. So this is setting the boundaries so that there's sometimes that it's just not going to work.
Right. Door. You know what door is. You better use it. Don't let it hit you in your ass on the way out. Right. So one other question about working with you. What's it feel like when you've gotten one of your clients where they said they needed to, where they felt they needed to get to, and you got to say, shoo, fly away, leave the nest, because this sort of thing too can become a crutch for people. A person like you, person like me, could be, because what I'm saying. So how do you know when a person is ready to take the training wheels off and take it for a solo ride?
Yeah, well, there's a lot of different types of coaches, and this is what I talk about at the very beginning with my clients is I am like an athletic coach, even for business. I'm going to tell you you're out of position. I'm going to tell you to get your shit together and you need to go do the thing.
And I can say, I was thinking earlier, I was like, for somebody who was never in the military, you'd have been good in there. I bet you've heard that before because you seem so disciplined. But athletes, and you come from a family of professional athletes, I can really, really. So let's talk about that. Discipline, accountability, right?
Yep. You have to do the work. The coach can be there and talk to you until they're blue in the face, but you're the one on the court. And if you don't do the work, you're not going to get better. And it's the same for the rest of our life. And there's too many coaches out there that want to coddle and they want to just be nice to everybody. And no one's going to get anywhere. You're not going to get the results you need. That's a cheerleader. That's a cheerleader type coach and hey, look, once you have done the thing we're supposed to do, I will be your biggest cheerleader. I will be there right by your side. I can also be your mentor. Like if you still come and you need like some occasional advice, I don't disappear from your life. I can always be there. But we got to change these roles and not be, always there to be the cheerleader when you really need someone to give you the boot in the booty.
So who does that for you?
Oh, well, thankfully, again, my family is really good and supportive in the right ways. And my boyfriend has been helping me, and I think he's been giving me the right supportive push where I felt the fear, where I was like, man, I don't know if this is right because, I had so many other things going on in my life and I never really committed to things for very long. And he was like, no, you just got to stick with it. And I think those are kind of some of those new types of learnings that I need to do to make sure I can keep going, year after year, to be able to continue to help.
Perfect. Well, listen, I know there are some people out there because there are smart people watching this show that are going to want to get in touch with you. And so here's one of the roads, the Nikki Green 360.com. Tell them what's waiting for them when they head over.
Yeah, pretty much all you want to know about me and then some is there. So if you want to follow me on social, watch me dance on TikTok, or if you'd like to listen to my podcast.
Now you bring that in. You're lucky I didn't do the research on you because I'd have had a clip. So you dance, huh?
Of course, there's so many different things you can do on each platform to resonate with your audience, to just bring out more of your personality. We're not one thing. And so why not use all the different ways we can to showcase who we are and connect with people?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Lori Whitney says, showing what love feels like. Followed up with, I was just thinking that statement, the same time toilet paper stuck to the foot. Yes. Yes. We've all had that happen, I'm sure, or have seen it. It's quite funny. Followed by the next funniest thing, besides toilet paper on someone's foot, is a woman or a guy with a suit coat, but a woman driving down the street with her skirted dress caught in the door hanging out. I don't know why that makes me laugh so hard. But listen, there is even more. There's another road. If you are into YouTube, if that's your jam, you'll find Nikki over there at the Nikki Green. Nikki, Jerry Springer moment as we get out of here. If people were to forget everything we talked about today and only remember one of your tips, which one would you hope they take away?
Yeah, a community can really make a difference in your life. So don't underestimate the people that are around you. Those are the people that are going to help you achieve your dreams, or they're going to be the ones that keep you from it.
Ooh, man, you had that ready, locked and loaded. Oh, Nikki, great, great. It was nice and wonderful. And I'm so awesomely thankful that I met you at the Accelerator Business Summit. Thank you, Martha Razzo, one of my favorite coaching clients. Well, wait, they're all my favorites. So, thought you had me, didn't you? Thank you so much for all you've done and for coming on today and pouring into all of us really great tips. And we hope to have you back again sometime. We really would.
Thank you so much.
You're right. Hey, listen, if I don't talk to you, you're right around the corner. But listen, we have to stay in touch. We can hang out and have. If I don't see you, have the best holiday season ever.
You
And
too.
by the way,
Thanks
I
so
love
much.
that. I love that. Is that chinchilla? Is that chinchilla? For FAUA.
Morning.
Oh, yes, yes. Thank you for wearing the robe and honoring the show. Listen, all of you out there, get out today. Find a little piece of your higher self. It only takes one E and one R. And instantly, you've taken what you already are to a new level. Great to greater, bright to brighter, strong to stronger, bold to bolder, and my personal favorite, kind to kinder. Get out there. Be nice to yourself and even nicer to everyone else. I'll meet you tomorrow morning, God willing, right over there on the front porch. And together, we'll have another illuminated conversation. Now, as I tell you every day, I absolutely love you. He really does. Dr. Lauren loves you. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Have the best day ever. I'll see you tomorrow. Nikki, thank you. Great job. You knocked it out of the park.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.